The PSU going after 15% salary increase for government workers in a new round of negotiations. A legal claim could be filed any day now on behalf of former public works employees who are owed over $100,000 in redundancy payments. And government grants a maritime license to a former Prime Minister on a mission to expand the island's agricultural exports. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up. And first up in the news, the Public Service Union is eyeing a 15% salary increase on behalf of government employees for the period 2015-2018. The trade union is preparing its proposal ahead of a new round of negotiations with government for salary increases and benefits in the interest of public servants.
We have completed a series of meetings we had with different sections in the public service, finding out from them what they would want us to negotiate for on their behalf. We have that information. We have had a general meeting, and we are just putting everything together. And as I said, we're about 50% complete with the submission, and that will be submitted to government in the next couple of weeks or so.
Last year, the PSU agreed to an overall 5% increase for public officers. This time around, it is seeking approval for 5% each in the 3-year period.
We are asking for an overall salary increase of 15%. Our initial position was that for the first year, we would have forego any requests for salary increases. We have revisited that matter, and since government never really responded to our proposal, and it was really a proposal. So all depending on whether they would have accepted it, they did not accept, they never responded. So we are now asking for a salary increase for the first year.
Legal counsel for the Public Service Union is well on the way to filing a claim with the court seeking to acquire redundancy payment for staff of the Public Works Corporation. Over $100,000 in redundancy payment is being owed to Public Works staff who filed for redundancy after an extended layoff by management since last August.
Anytime from today or tomorrow, I believe the documents will be sent to the courts. We are almost complete with that. All the claim forms have been signed and everything, and our lawyer, that is fully in the hands of our lawyers, because as we have repeatedly said that the Public Works Corporation violating the laws, that is with regard to redundancy, and the matter is in court.
Okay, how many employees are we talking about?
A total of 16 employees are taking the Public Works Corporation to court. A total of about 19 people were laid off, but I don't want to go into detail as to what has happened to the 3 others.
Later says the chairman of the Public Works Corporation board is yet to dialogue with his union about his public statements to the media agreeing to pay public works staff.
We do not let that bother us. We are just doing what we have to do. We believe we have exhausted all other avenues, and it is a legal matter now. What we're talking about, when we looked at that some weeks ago, you're talking about a mere, and I repeat, a mere $150,000 for all the employees who are affected. That is all. $150,000, which is just peanut to us.
You think that's not a hefty sum?
That's not a hefty sum at all for a government, $150,000. That is joke.
And former Prime Minister Oliver Serafin has landed an opportunity on government's doorstep, seeking their partnership to transport agricultural produce abroad. Idona John Baptist reports.
Oliver Serafin runs a locally registered company, the Global Shipping Corporation, which manages 2 vessels. The American Liberty is currently docked at the Woodbridge Bay port, while the other boat is based in Louisiana. The company on Saturday obtained a maritime license from government. Serafin has been on island for the past 5 weeks, holding meetings with government on the way forward for his intended business venture here.
I heard the government's cry in 2014. There was $6 million put up in the budget for the purchase of a boat. But I thought we should go private sector and look for a link with a partnership with private-public sector partnership with the government. And I informed the Prime Minister, the Minister McIntyre at the time. I have been in constant touch with the Minister of Trade, Ian Douglas, informing them of the coming of that ship. And so the whole of 2015, we were evolving, and eventually the boat was purchased through an arrangement that we have with a ship plant out in Louisiana.
Each boat has the capacity to hold two 40-foot refrigerated containers. Serafin has proposed a memorandum of understanding to government for consideration. While he acknowledges the maritime license has set the wheels in motion for the venture, he says he wishes there would be less foot dragging.
At this time, Dominica does not have the quantity of agricultural production necessary to sustain a ship like this. There is absolutely no doubt in their minds and mine that there will not be any form of production sufficient to meet market requirements until somewhere about July, when the planting of the bananas will come to fruition. And then when it comes to fruition, there's an absolute need for a vessel to operate, to move the agricultural produce from here to the various marketplaces. We've brought the boat, and so we would expect that government would be jumping and dancing and seeking our attention, and it's happening to an extent, but there's some areas of darkness in terms of our understanding as to clarity as to where they see us and where we see them.
And Acting Prime Minister Justina Charles has congratulated Prime Minister Skerrit after Lovely Professional University awarded him an honorary degree on Tuesday. Lurian Graham Carter reports.
The award was conferred during the university's 6th convocation ceremony where Mr. Skerrit was guest speaker.
The Chancellor of Lovely Professional University said, Mr. Skerrit is a global role model to all aspiring leaders. He said that the humility of our Prime Minister was admirable, and by virtue of the high esteem in which the Prime Minister and consequently the Commonwealth of Dominica was held by the university and the wider Indian community, the institution will, as of next academic year, grant 10 scholarships to Dominican students wishing to pursue studies at the Punjab-based university.
Meantime, taking a look at the citation which was read at that ceremony in India on Tuesday. It says Prime Minister Skerrit has established a world record by becoming one of the youngest elected heads of government in the world. It goes on to say that the Prime Minister has been a dynamic, far-sighted and innovative leader. It also acknowledges Mr. Skerrit's significant contribution to building harmonious international relationships between the English-speaking Caribbean region and the Spanish-speaking Latin American region. It goes on, he has successfully established diplomatic relations with over 100 countries, including the People's Republic of China, Venezuela, Morocco, and Cuba. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit donated over 1 million rupees, an equivalent of over 59,000 EC dollars, to a home for the destitute and disabled in the northern Indian state of Punjab. According to the India Tribune, the Prime Minister expressed his desire for continued support and assistance to the school there.
And the Thunderbirds and the Carnival Corner costume groups are still awaiting a response from the hierarchy of the festival's committee since they officially challenged the awarding of Adult Band of the Year. The two groups, in a joint letter to the chairman of the DFC, are opposing the decision to name Africulture Stiltwalkers Adult Band of the Year for Carnival 2016. Band leader of Thunderbirds, Cesar Emmanuel, says the Africulture Stiltwalkers failed to meet two of the guidelines to qualify to be adjudged Band of the Year.
Through eyewitness and video sources, we could tell that they haven't got 51 adults in the band. And one of DFC's requirements to qualify for Band of the Year on Tuesday costume band is that you must have 50 adults and up. We also feel that, through again eyewitness and video, that you also have to make 2 rounds from 11 in the morning to 2. Whenever you complete those 2 rounds, that is from 11 to 2. And we have good evidence that the band who got Band of the Year did not complete the 2 rounds. So it's on that basis we are asking DFC to recall the Band of the Year they gave to that particular band.
Okay, based on your request to DFC, DDA, if they do not comply, what would be your next move?
Well, as stated in the letter, we will resort to the court. We will take legal action.
Thunderbirds is the oldest carnival costume group and has captured 4 adult bands of Band of the Year awards.
According to our judge partner in that particular matter, Last year, they only had 39 adults. All right, we decided that we're going to stay clear of this, as long as it's been corrected. So it's not that we hadn't spoken last year. We spoke silently last year. Okay, but this year we decided that things have to come straight. We welcome any new band coming into Dominica to play Carnival. We encourage young people to come in, but we have to teach the young people to play by the rules. If they deserve to win the first prize, the Band of the Year, they should get Band of the Year.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, CARICOM's 5-year child protection plan. Thank you for staying with us. CARICOM to soon implement a 5-year strategy for child protection in the Caribbean region. Officer in charge of Child Fund Caribbean, Jelena Fontaine, says CARICOM met with people from the NGOs and child protection sectors to map out a plan to address the issue of child abuse in the Caribbean. Fontaine, who is also the vice president of the NGO coalition, says she hopes that other Caribbean countries more advanced in social services would participate in cross-learning, sharing their training with the less advanced countries.
Those who are more advanced with how they manage child abuse cases are surprised to hear Trinidad gets about 500 cases on average of child sexual abuse every month. You know, I mean, our numbers are huge in relation to our population. This is just out of this world. And the speed at which they have to be dealing with processing all these cases on a monthly and yearly basis. So all the islands are going through some serious challenges. Some are better off already advanced in certain sectors. We have to learn from each other. I'm hoping that the CARICOM leaders, they will take this movement for children seriously in the next few years because the Sustainable Development Goals are asking all the countries to take it seriously.
Fontaine says CARICOM will meet again with child protection NGOs in March to finalize the plan.
We gave all the input to the work. Now we're going to review and validate the work so that they can present it to CARICOM in the next few weeks or months. So I'm hoping that our leaders stay behind it, they endorse it, they like it, and they ask the people in our countries to please work on it, you know, and not just make it a piece of paper. So I'm glad that regionally a lot of things are moving together. The different documents that are coming out on rights and the status of our legislation affecting children. I would want Dominica to be one of the first countries who puts in place several things or gets rid of several maybe bad practices so that we can shine in the region and share as best practice as well, you know. That make our children proud as well, that we value them and we want to really make a change and a difference for them.
In other news, a regional organization is taking action to improve access to justice within the Caribbean region. This was among the discussions held at a 2-day workshop organized by Impact Justice. Regional Director for Impact Justice says the approach of the organization is multifaceted.
Its main components are the drafting of legislation for the economic and social development of the region. And under this component, we have drafted mediation legislation, sexual harassment legislation, and a major organized crime bill. These are now to be discussed in the region and copies passed to the Attorneys General. The second component is improving legal professionalism through enhanced codes of ethics, disciplinary procedures, and the encouragement of bar associations to adopt continual legal professional programs for their members. The third component is for improving and expanding databases of court decisions and legislation and articles published in the region, which are available to lawyers and any members of the public who want to do legal research.
Impact Justice Caribbean is being implemented in 13 Caribbean countries. Newton says the training of various professionals and youth is key on the organization's agenda.
We have a public legal education program which has great potential and possibilities. And last but not least, we have a program for alternative dispute resolution training and use. How are we going to impact access to justice by alternative dispute resolution? By training justices of the peace, teachers, religious and other community leaders in the techniques of mediation. During this year, we will start to monitor the use to which the training is being put, and will encourage the formation of national and eventually a regional association. We at Impact Justice and our project stakeholders from around the region are very excited about the possibilities of this project, and we need to work together, pooling our ideas, knowledge, and resources for the good of the region.
68 participants from 13 CARICOM nations participated in this 2-day workshop. And recipients of thousands of dollars worth of contributions in post-Erica relief have voiced their gratitude to the Rotary Club of Dominica. This was among the activities held to observe Rotary Day on Tuesday.
Today, Rotary International is celebrating Rotary Day worldwide. This is an opportunity for us to showcase our good work to everyone in our communities. We want everyone to experience what it is to make a difference in people's lives.
John Foy of Kulibistri received $10,000 for a coconut oil machine and packaging material. $5,000 went to Sylvain Parrell of Coliho on behalf of the Coliho Ban Mauvais. Furniture manufacturer Lawrence Moise of Petit Savan received approximately $7,000 for tools, while Hamlet Bellot, a contractor from Pichelay, received $4,000. And the Bagatelle Village Council received $8,000 towards the construction of a storm drain.
I think the Rotary has been a real gift, because since the storm, they gave us the money. And as I told the president, once I get the money from them, immediately I'll try to get the machine to do one thing, most of all, to put my people back to work.
I hear about Rotary Club and Rotary Club saying to come to a meeting, that same spot. And I did come to the meeting and they explained to me and I explained to them. And they tell me, go ahead, do what I have to do. And I come, I bring my things for them. And Rotary Club put it back on the feet again. And I'm so happy, man. Thanks, Rotary Club.
Following the passage of Tropical Storm Erica, the Rotary Club implemented a livelihood restoration and community development project where over $193,000 was distributed to 46 individuals and organizations.
The distribution of recipients in the affected areas was as follows. 14 were from Kulibistri, 8 from Pichelay, 7 from Coliho, 7 from Petit Savan, 2 from Canbell, 2 from Dubic, 2 from Roseau, and 1 each from Layu Park, Massac, Roseau Valley, and Bells. These persons were tradesmen, farmers, contractors, small manufacturers, seamstresses, and business owners.
The Rotary Club of Dominica was established in 1974. Rotary International is the world's oldest service organization. It was founded in 1905 in Chicago and operates under the motto, Service Above Self. That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, an uncomfortable feeling grips a local boxing coach as he expressed dissatisfaction about the Dominica Olympic Committee's explanation for the non-selection of 2 local boxers and its alleged selection of a non-qualifying boxer for the 2016 Olympic Games. Boxing coach Job Joseph says the news is disappointing.
But I read on DNO that Miss Spencer got a bronze medal in the Commonwealth Games, and that's why she was chosen. To get a bronze medal, you must be in the top 4. There is no way you can be in the top 16 or top 8 to get a medal. So Mr. White and the DOC were using this strategy to let people think that the girl really got a bronze. So that is the reason why she's going to the Olympics.
Joseph is of the opinion that the reason the DOC gave the local boxers non-selection for other qualifying meets is false.
The young guys, for them to qualify to the Olympics, they have to go to the Commonwealth Games, and they have to qualify. That's mistruth, that's wickedness. You don't have to go to any qualification to go to the Commonwealth Games. As I have in my hand right now, from the Commonwealth Game Federation, and questions will ask, what is the Commonwealth Game? Where is it will be taken? And who can take part? Any member of the CARICOM can send boxers. They are going to qualify to go to the Commonwealth Games.
Channel 5 Sports spoke with DOC Treasurer Philip White, who says the comments made by Joseph are not factual.
Recently, she received a bronze medal in Serbia in a competition. That was about 2 months ago. And on the 9th of March next month, she will be going to Argentina to continue her preparation. There'll be the qualifiers, and she will be participating in the qualifications, hopefully for Rio. But she hasn't qualified yet. She's still training and preparing, and she'll be involved in the qualifications in Argentina from the 9th of March.
White says the two local boxers didn't make the list of potential qualifiers when it was due for submission.
You have to send in your nominations, and that was explained to Job himself. We had an executive meeting, and that was explained to him that you have to, what is called a long list. The Olympic Committee prepares a long list of prospective and potential qualifiers for the Olympic Games. And the only person that was nominated for boxing was Valerian Spicer.
On to cricket. The semi-final matches are over and now it's time to decide which school has the best team. In an epic final battle, defending champions of the United Insurance Secondary Schools Cricket Championship, Dominica State College and rivals Pierre Charles Secondary School will face off at Windsor Park on Thursday and Friday. The match begins from 1:30 p.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. On the football scene, the Roosevelt Douglas, St. John's and Savin Pie Primary Schools have made the cut for the next round of play in the NBD Primary Schools Football Championship. Roosevelt Douglas Primary finished in first place with 12 points, St. John's and Savin Pie Primary 10 and 11 respectively. Meantime, St. Martin's, St. Luke's and Newtown Primary Schools are leading in the Southwest. St. Martin's had 6 points while the St. Luke's and Newtown Primary Schools have 4 each. Back in some more cricket. With a tight grip on their bats, Hayley Matthews and Brittany Cooper added 56 and 55 in that order to help West Indies women reach 214 for 7 in their first ODI against South Africa Wednesday. The home team replied with 198 all-out. Marizan Cap struck an impressive 69. Trisha Cutty supported with 47 and Shabnim and Ismail 34. Deandra Dottin wreaked havoc in South Africa camp, picking up 5 for 34 for West Indies. The teams will play again on February 27 in their second ODI. On to international cricket. The second test match between Australia and New Zealand left the home team with their bails off their stumps as Australia recorded a 7-wicket win. Set 201, Australia equaled the target with only 3 wickets fallen. Joe Burns scored 65 while Stephen Smith supported with 53. The final scores: New Zealand 370 and 335, Australia 505 and 201 for 3, targeting 201. Finally, in sports, there was an error in Tuesday's track and field sports item. Mappin Sports reported that Josiah Tuse had reset an 8-year-old national record. However, that should have been Josh Tuse. Mappin Sports apologizes for the error. That's all the time for sports. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next time.
Coming up next, Flashback.
Welcome to another segment of Flashback, where we take you way back into our archives of interesting news events which occurred in Dominica. Do you remember 1996 when the Isaiah Thomas Secondary gained its independence from Dominica Grammar School? Do you remember that the name of the school was St. Joseph Secondary in between transition to its present name? One school, 3 names. The final being that of a role model and leader in the community.
It is my distinct pleasure, my honor, my privilege at this time to officially declare this school the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School.
Students and teachers had to call it by name today. And just in case persons forgot who Isaiah Thomas was, principal of the Convent High School, Dorothy Levy, rekindled that memory.
Isaiah Abraham Thomas was born in the village of St. Joseph in 1926 and received his primary education at the St. Joseph Government School. Isaiah, or Zacho as he was popularly called, distinguished himself very early as an outstanding pupil. As a young teacher, his natural intelligence, his devotion to duty, his interest in the success of his students became evident, and he was soon appointed principal, a capacity in which he also worked in many schools. The Wills Strathmore Government School, the St. Joseph School, the Goodwill School are among those.
naming ceremony was attended by government officials, the late Isaiah Thomas's brother N.A. Ndukwe, and other well-wishers.
465 children now attend the Isaiah Thomas Secondary. Hats off to the leaders who decided to name the school after a good citizen. It is always a great decision to reward role models in our society and preserve their story for the ears and eyes of our youth. I am Janik Delmar Samuel. Thanks for joining us on another Flashback segment. See you next week.
And up next on the Channel 5 News, a look at your latest weather report.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Annie Carreta Joseph. The Atlantic high pressure system continued to be the dominant feature across the region today, and this resulted in generally fair skies. Visible satellite imagery showed few low-level clouds over Dominica throughout the course of the day. Radar imagery indicated some isolated showers across the islands. Conditions for tonight: fair to partly cloudy skies with some breezy conditions. Tomorrow, low-level clouds traversing the area could result in partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers, mainly during the cooler late nights to early morning period. However, as the day progresses, fair to partly cloudy skies with some brief isolated showers can be expected. Breezy conditions will be maintained. Sea conditions: moderate in open water with waves peaking near 8 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers are advised to exercise some caution. The next 3 days, similar weather pattern can be expected. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers, mainly during the cooler late nights to early morning period. However, as the day progresses, fair to partly cloudy skies with few isolated showers can be expected. A gradual reduction in wind speeds can be expected through to Saturday. The Atlantic high pressure system will continue to be the dominant feature across the region tomorrow. This will result in partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers, mainly over the southern portion of the island chain. The international cities forecast: partly cloudy skies can be expected in New York, London and Caracas, clear skies in Miami and Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:25 a.m. and set at 6:12 p.m. For updated information, visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and join us next time. Good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. The Public Service Union going after a 15% salary increase for government workers in a new round of negotiations. A legal claim could be filed any day now on behalf of former public works employees who are owed over $100,000 in redundancy payments. And government grants a maritime license to a former Prime Minister on a mission to expand the island's agricultural exports. We invite you to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can watch our past newscasts on our YouTube page. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.